It's time to make some money at the Apex. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of my best bets. I got a money line bet for you, I got a round prop bet, and I got a plus money prop bet. In addition, I'm going to show you every single one of my DFS plays, which if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know you always want to tail those. And lastly, I'll let you know where you can get every single one of my bets on this Saturday's card completely free. But before we get into that, we got to hit how the recap went for UFC Abu Dhabi as far as the best bets video went. Jose Ochoa lost the fight, but he won the war. All right. Aso Mabayev, little crotch sniffer, gets it done. If he's going to win, that's how he got it done. And in hindsight, a little bit too early for Jose Ochoa to be facing that type of wrestler. I do think he's going to do good things in the UFC, but it's a small loss for Jose Ochoa there. The round prop bet was also an L. I had 4 round prop bets on the board. Somehow I managed to give you the only one that lost. I went 3-1 on round prop bets. And the main event was pretty entertaining. And Rainier de Ritter almost got knocked out in round 3, which would have cashed the bet. Unfortunately, he's just too tough. So we lost that one as well. And we also lost the Said Nurmagomedov sub. And I got to tip my cap to old Bryce Mitchell because he made a great adjustment in the way that he was getting his takedowns. He's mostly a double leg, single leg type of guy, but he knows if he's going to do that, he's going to leave his neck out there. So what did he do? Clinched him up and looked for the trips off the cage. Smart adjustment from Bryce Mitchell. Didn't know if he would have that fight IQ in him, but he did. And even with that, Said had an opportunity in the fight and nearly got it in round 3, but we lost the plus 410 prop bet on Said Nurmagomedov sub. So overall, we got slaughtered. Slaughtered meaning we lost all 3 bets that I gave you. Unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Hopefully lightning does not strike twice this weekend. I don't think it will because I feel pretty good about these bets I'm going to give you, but there's the recap of the best bet show. The DFS was just hurt my soul. Hurt my soul Saturday because we lost 2 slips. Robert Whitaker lower than 65.5, he got 66. Martin Boudet lower than 40.5, he got 41. So we lost 2 slips for a 6-unit swing by 1 significant strike on both of them. And then we also lost Marcus McGee's higher because he got 6 significant strikes in round 3. There's the burp. Marcus McGee got like 50-some significant strikes through 2 rounds. I was like, this is going to be easy. He gets 6 significant strikes in round 3, so we lost a slip there. 5-3 on the picks for -1 unit. Unfortunate when you got the pairings wrong and you ultimately lose 3 out of the 4 slips, but felt pretty good about DFS. We just couldn't get him to go through, and we got hurt a little bit by loosened by just 1 significant strike. That sucks. But let's get into this week. Moneyline bet this week is going to be Andre Pulaev at -150. I got him for 1.5 units on the money line to win 1 unit. I think he's just way better than Nick Klein. I don't believe in Nick Klein. I don't even know why. Well, I know why he's in the UFC. He pulled off some crazy submission in round 1 on the Contender Series. And then they give him to Mansour Abdulmalik. Didn't really show me much in that fight. He had a moment in the fight, but he hurt Mansour with like a spinning attack and then didn't really follow up on it. He just didn't really show me anything in that fight, and I don't really think the guy's very good. He's losing on the regional scene, getting finished on the regional scene. He's kind of a gasser as well, gassed out in the Abdul Malik fight and got finished pretty easily. Pulaev, on the other hand, once he made it to the UFC, they gave him a tough fight at CLD, and he held his own. He definitely lost the fight, but he held his own. He was never, completely outclassed in one way where he's, getting beat up in there. And I think he comes in here against Nick Klein, able to stuff the takedowns, and when they're on the feet, I think Pulaev's going to be able to rip some body kicks, rip some head kicks in that southpaw stance, pop the jab out there, pop that 1-2. I think he's going to be hurting Nick Klein on the feet, could maybe even find a finish, but I'm just going to play Pulaev on the money line at -150 because I just think he's the way better fighter. I just don't believe in Nick Klein, and I also think Pulaev has the better cardio here. So there's your money line bet for this week, -150, Pulaev, 1.5 units on it to win 1 back. Now we'll get into the Underdog Fantasy Plays. If you're in one of these highlighted states on the map, you're going to want to download the Underdog Fantasy app if you have not already. Use code HeyJob, get that deposit bonus up to $1,000. And if you tailed last week's, we lost it by 1 significant strike. We lost it by 1 significant strike. Unfortunate, but we've already hit 2 this year, and we're positive 98.78 units in just 2 pick entries alone. since 2024. So you definitely want to tail those. If you're watching on a TV or a monitor, whip out your phone, scan the QR code. You could download it a bit faster there. Let's take a look at the plays. The 5-pick play this week is going to be Taira Rodriguez, higher than 42.5. She's not a super high volume girl, but she's also mostly looking for the takedowns, or at least winning her fights with the takedowns. I don't know that she's going to just lay on Ketlin Souza and top timer for 15 minutes. I think there's going to be moments in this fight where they're striking for 2 to 3 minutes of the round. Taira can maybe steal it with a takedown to win the fight, but I think Taira Rodriguez is going to be able to rack up significant strikes here against Ketlin Souza, who's very hittable. So I like the higher than 42.5. I do think it probably goes to decision. I think she could get 60 plus, so I like the higher there. Rinya Nakamura lower than 38.5. He's hit this in every single one of his fights under the UFC banner, whether that's Road to UFC, whether that's UFC, and he's been to decision 3 times in the UFC and still hasn't gotten more than 38.5 significant strikes. So we already know if this fight goes to decision, Rinya Nakamura can absolutely go lower than 38.5 because he's not high volume on the feet. He's mainly looking for that wrestling, and this is a wrestler versus a grappler. And I don't think they're just going to stand and strike. I think either one is going to look to push their grappling. So there's probably going to be a lot of grappling in this one. You know, you always have the upside for the early finish when you're playing a lower there. So I like that. Aliso Zaleski dos Santos, lower than 52.5. He's not a high-volume striker. He's facing Neil Magny. Neil Magny wants to get into the clinch. Aliso Zaleski might even want to take him down to the ground. So I just don't really see where there's going to be a lot of striking in this fight. I don't see how there's going to be extended periods of time where these guys are just going back and forth. Could definitely go to decision, but even if it does, I think he definitely go lower because he's gone lower many times in his career. So I like the lower there for Zaleski. He's also at a big height and reach disadvantage, 7 inches exactly, which is pretty big, guys. 7 inches is pretty dang big when we're talking about reach. So I like that for Aliso. Carol Rosa, lower than 72.5. She is pretty high volume. The thing here is she's facing Nora Cornoli. And Cornoli does not get hit with many significant strikes. And Carol Rosa's gone under this number many times in her career, but there are some fights where she's facing an opponent that'll just stand across from her the entire fight, and there's no grappling at all, and she can get 100, 150, even 200 significant strikes. So this is either going to go very, very well or very poor. And I think it's probably going to go very well. That's why I played it. Because Carol Rosa, she struggles to take the fight over herself. And Nora Cornoli usually has I don't want to say the advantage, but she usually takes the fight under her terms. And where does Nora Cornoli want this fight to be? In the clinch, on the ground. I don't think she just wants to stand across from Carol Rosa and eat her leg kicks for 15 minutes. You know, Cornoli is kind of one of these awkward strikers that falls into weird positions and stuff like that. That's why she doesn't absorb that many significant strikes. Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who's a very high volume striker, only landed 54 on her in a 3-round fight that she lost. I think this is going to be a close fight as well, so I like the lower there for Carol Rosa. It's a super high number. And then we're going to go to Esteban Ribovics. We're taking his higher. I'm not going to doubt this man's volume. He lands over 8 significant strikes per minute. I do think the fight could definitely go late, if not go to a decision, because I think Brenner is very tough. And I don't know that Brenner is going to be able to just wet blanket him on the ground. And even if in fights where Ribovics has given up an entire round against Camilla Kirk, where he got taken down for the entire first round, he still landed 100 plus in that fight. So, I mean, this guy can land 70, 80 significant strikes in one round. So you're going to give me him at 75.5. I got to play the higher, man. I got to play it because he's not a guy that really sits down on his punches. It's just a lot of tip, like 1-2s, jabs, leg kicks, stuff like that where he can rack them up. And he likes to land in combination. So Esteban Ribovics, if you're going to land 8 significant strikes per minute, I'm going to take your higher at 75.5. There's your 5-pick entry on Underdog. The 2-legger here is going to be Carol Rosa and Esteban Ribovics, as I just explained there. Got to play the 2-leggers, of course. And then there's a play on sleeper picks that you could also put on Underdog or any of the other DFS plays. But this is a payout for 3.07x instead of just a 3x payout. So I put it in. Tresean Gore, lower than 25.5. He's not a high-volume guy. He's going to be facing a grappler that wants to get him to the ground. There could be some clinching time here as well. Has upside for early finish. So like Tresean Gore, lower than 25.5. He's gone under this in every single one of his UFC fights, except his fight against Brian Battle. So pretty good track record there. Mateusz Rebecki, higher than 1.5 takedowns. Chris Duncan, pretty poor takedown defense. Rebecki, I believe, lands like 3 takedowns per minute. Not per minute, per fight. And he has like a 75% takedown accuracy. So when he's going for those takedowns, he's getting them. And considering, Chris Duncan's kind of an awkward striker on the feet, I could see him looking to take him to the ground, knowing that his jiu-jitsu is good enough to deal with that guillotine. And maybe he just picks him up and slams him. And then Chris Duncan tries to get back up, picks him up and slams him again. There's 2. All right, I just think the line's a little bit too low. I think it should be at 2.5 instead of 1.5. Obviously, if the fight ends in round 1, it's probably not looking good for us. But I do trust both guys as far as their durability goes. So I like the Rebecki, higher than 1.5 takedowns there. There's your 2-pick entry on Sleeper Picks. I put it in there because the payout is a little bit better. So if you're in one of these highlighted purple states, you can download Sleeper. There's a link down in the description below. Use code HeyJob. Get that deposit bonus up to $100. Now, I got to share this with you guys because I am super excited about it. All right. This has nothing to do with the bets on the card, but if you're watching this video, you're probably a bettor. You're probably looking for better angles to increase your revenue. And the G-Bank card, the gaming card here, is going to be a game changer. I've used it this week. I just got set it up. Basically, it's a credit card for gaming where you can get cashback rewards for your deposits on sportsbooks or other gaming apps. So I used it on Underdog this week. I used it. I can't use it on a sportsbook here because I'm in Wisconsin. But if you're in, any of the other states, that you can deposit on DraftKings, all those bigger type of apps, even some of the smaller ones, you'll get cashback rewards for those deposits. And not only that, they're super easy. The problem with depositing on these apps is because you use a regular credit card, you're gonna have to like verify it and do all this. They're not gonna ask you that because it's a gaming specific credit card. Now, the big thing here is not that. The big thing here is if you're not a credit card person, you probably shouldn't use it. But if you're not a credit card person, you're probably not going to get approved for it. You have to apply for it. I believe you have to have above a 660 credit score to get approved for it. So you got to have some credit history, and you also have to be a good person with credit cards. So I'm going to just tell you, if you have a gaming problem, probably don't get it. If you have a credit card problem, don't get it. But if that's the case, then you probably don't have the credit score to get approved anyway. I am a credit card person. I've been using them ever since I was 18, and I've taken advantage of the credit card companies. And this is one that I'm looking at that I'm like, it's literally perfect. It's literally perfect for me because I know how to use credit cards. It's accepted on all these gaming platforms. I get cashback rewards, and it's available whenever you need it. You're not going to have any hoops to jump through if you're trying to deposit on these apps. So there's a link down in the description below. If you want to apply, go ahead and get in on a G-Bank credit card. It's literally Visas. There's no scams here. There's no scams. Okay, it's real. It's a real thing. I use it myself. I use it this week. So link down in the description below if you want to take advantage of that. Back to the bets. We got a round prop bet for you. I'm going with the under 2.5 rounds at minus 120 odds in the Bashi versus Yanis fight. All right. I am maybe going to add towards this once the props get out, but I'm just putting 1 unit on it because I believe Austin Bashi is probably going to finish him early on in the fight. I think he could finish him within the first 2 rounds. I don't see how John Yanis is going to come in here and deal with the grappling of Austin Bashi because he has a sick wrestling and grappling game. If you watch this fight on the Contender Series, I think that's probably what's going to happen here. All right, he's probably going to be looking for those takedowns and just dragging him around the octagon real quickly and putting him through hell. And then he's probably going to soften him up and probably find a submission, if not a TKO. I watched Yanis' takedown defense. It's not that great. And I think Bashi's going to be able to exploit that and find a finish with it. Bashi had finished, I think, every one of his opponents' his last 4 or 5 fights within the first 2 rounds. And then he faced Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez is on a different level when it comes to grappling defense, takedown defense. Like, he is very good at being an anti-grappler. And Bashi still had his moments in there. this ain't Christian Rodriguez. This is John Yanis making his UFC debut on short notice. I think Bashi gets him out of there within the first 2 rounds. There's no prop on that, but there is a prop available right now, the under 2.5, minus 120. I'm putting 1 unit on it. There's your round prop bet for the week. Now, if you want all the bets, jump in the Home5 Picks Premium membership. Use code APEX, and you'll get a 7-day free trial. The year in 2025, we're positive 42.30 units. Last year, we were up over 100. We're on our way towards that 100-unit mark. Feel pretty good about this card. I think we're going to be able to smack them and improve that total. So if you want all the bets, jump in the Home5 Picks Premium membership. And if you're one of these guys that gets so flustered because when I give you the DFS plays in this YouTube video and you go to look at them, you're like, oh, these lines are different. Well, the reason is because I sent them out I sent them to the Home5 Picks Premium members through Winnable on Monday. All right. And if you got all these people putting the plays in that tail be in the Home5 Picks Premium membership, then the lines are going to move. So if you want to be there before the lines move and you don't want to wait till Thursday to get the DFS plays, jump in the Home5 Picks Premium membership because I put them out early in the week, and that's how the members get them at the best line that they can get. And then later in the week, I give them out to you guys because I want everyone to eat, and sometimes the bumps don't matter. Sometimes they do. So it's part of the game, but you can get them earlier there. And if you sign up this week with code APEX, you'll get next week's early on. Let's move on to the prop bet. We're going Kevin Vallejos by KO. By KO. All right? I'm trusting in you, young Kev, okay? Because I believe in this guy. I believe that he is a real problem at featherweight because his striking is legit. His counter striking is very, very good. His process and his technical abilities to see shots, see openings, explode, and the accuracy on his hands, I think are definitely good enough to find a knockout on Danny Silva. And I respect Danny Silva a lot. Very tough, a pretty good fighter himself. I just think Vallejos is going to be able to make him pay because he gets hit with over 7 significant strikes per minute. And I don't think he's faced a guy with the power, the timing, and the accuracy that Kevin Vallejos has in his bag. So I like Vallejos by knockout this weekend. It's plus 120. I got it for 1 unit, plus 120. I was waiting because I was going to play it at minus 115 earlier in the week. I was like, I think we could get plus money on this. And then I saw it at plus 120 on another book, and I was like, yeah, give me that. Give me that. Vallejos by KO at plus 120. 1 unit on that. There's your prop bet for the week. Get it done for us, El Chino. Let's get into the Betr Picks plays. If you're in one of these purple states, you're going to want to download Betr Picks. They changed the deposit bonus, which was news to me. But if you play $10, you get $30 instantly. So there's no deposit bonus anymore. But if you play $10, you get $30 added to your balance instantly, which I guess is pretty cool. So basically like $30 for free or $20 for free. I don't know. But either way, I'm not interested in making money from deposit bonus. I'm interested in making money like this. $10 or $100 to win $10,000, $50 to win $49.50. We've done it before. We were off by 9 significant strikes last week. Unfortunately, still hurting about that one. But maybe we could do it this week. Let's take a look. Pierre Rodriguez higher. Nakamura lower. Zaleski lower. Kale Rosa lower. Ribovics higher. Andre Pulayev higher. I think he's going to be able to pop Nick Klein with a bunch of shots. Maybe even finish him late. Matal Strambetsky higher than 1.5 takedowns. And Trayshawn Gore lower than 25.5. There's your 8-legger. $100 wins $10K. 100x payout on Betr Picks. The 2-pick entry here, it's going to be Pulayev higher, Zaleski lower, and then the 2-pick entry here is going to be Pierre Rodriguez higher, Rinya Nakamura lower. I love that one. There's your Betr Picks plays for this week. If you're in one of these purple states, again, download Betr Picks, use code HeyJive, play $10, get $30 instantly. Not really going to go over too much of those because we kind of already covered most of them throughout the video, but those are the plays on Betr Picks. Those were the best lines that I could get at the time. Lastly, if you commented on last week's video, you know you were entered to win a Professor Parlay shirt. And the winner from last week is going to be Hey Cop for you. All right, Hey Cop for you. DM me HeyJobPicks on Instagram or DM Home of Picks on Instagram that you are the winner for the Professor Parlay t-shirt, and I will get that sent out to you. We were able to contact last week's winner, and I'm going to be sending him his shirt very soon here, but I want to make sure Hey Cop for You gets his as well. So please do that, or find another way to contact me. You can email me at heyjobpicks@gmail.com or whatever. Just tell me that you won the Professor Parlay t-shirt giveaway, and I can hook you up. And if you want to get a Professor Parlay shirt, go to professorparlayshop.com, and you can enter to win the giveaway just by commenting on this video. I appreciate you for watching. Like the video for me as well. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we cash in. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, Hey Job Picks.